The taste tour has returned. What we have here tonight is a little bit of an interesting idea. Basically, what we're going to do right now is make the original martini, and we're going to use gin for that as the original martini drink. Now, we've never really done a gin-based spirit before, and we're just trying to think of ways to do it. So basically, we're going to do the gin martini first. You get a good representation of what the actual gin tastes like, as very few people actually drink it straight. So basically, gin is, first and foremost, traditionally distilled from juniper berries. That was the traditional distillation. It originated in the 11th century by Italian monks and was basically used during the plague as ineffectively as a remedy for it. It didn't really do anything. And basically throughout history, it started... The reason it's synonymous with England is because during the 80 Years' War, they were fighting the Spanish along with the Dutch in the Netherlands, came across the Dutch spirit, basically similar to gin, brought it back home. A couple of laws were passed in the early 18th century in the United Kingdom, which were basically high import taxes on alcohol, and then the other one would be legal, get this, distillation in a person's home. So with those combined, people were just distilling the stuff themselves.
Bathtub gin.
Bathtub gin, that's where it comes from. So basically, that's how gin started. That's where gin came from. This right here is the Beefeater Gin. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It started in 1820 in London. The picture of it is a beefeater, the official name for them being Yeoman Warders, the people who guard the Tower of London in London. So,
Love that name.
How about you make me a drink?
with that in mind, let's make some drinks. How about
Yeah.
that?
History
Should I
lesson.
do first?
Although
No,
interesting.
All right, so
I'm trying to
basically,
drink something.
the ratio to martini... I got it.
I want to do it.
So basically, the ratio to martini is typically a 3-to-1 ratio, or really as much as you want, but a 3 or 4-to-1 ratio for gin or vodka to
Olive?
no,
Okay.
to
Damn.
vermouth. All right. Mind holding the bottle, please? Please.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's one. One more, please.
I like your
Thank
shot
you.
glass. Actually, we were all there for that trip.
Yes, we were. So, and basically we're going to do it the shaken way. There are shaken and stirred ways. I prefer it shaken. That's good. We're just doing 2 shots. Go ahead.
Calm down, Mr. Bond.
Let's get it,
Let's
I
get
prefer
it
it
going.
shaken.
Where's your bow tie?
The IBA way to do it, which is the International Bartenders Association, is 55 milliliters of gin.
Here's the question. Can you actually prefer it being shaken over being stirred?
You can prefer whatever you want, but
I
there's
mean,
a difference.
Well, that's
not-
what I'm saying.
not really.
Can it actually be like, this was stirred, sir?
So as you can see, we used 2 shots of
Oh my
gin,
God.
about 2/3 of a shot of vermouth. That would be a 3 parts gin to 1 part vermouth ratio. Now, what you do then, put it on in here. This one will have a gin martini once this is shaken.
Would you have a gin martini if it was stirred?
You would. And I gotta tell
Good
you,
question.
it would taste pretty
No
much the
stupid
same.
questions on the Kidwell Taster.
And it's martini time.
It's not my favorite time. Not really. Not much of a gin man, personally. But.
I like gin. I like them in gin and tonics. Actually, no, I don't like the gin. I like the tonic. I'm not
You
a
like
big,
tonic?
It goes, yeah, a bit the lime and it's tasty.
With the lime.
There's lime going on there. I don't like the taste of alcohol. I have a very hard time
Alright.
getting okay with it.
So, the gin and tonics or excuse me, the gin martinis are poured. Go ahead and put 1 olive as a garnish on each of them, and we will enjoy.
Let's enjoy.
Yeah, we will.
All right.
Perfect.
I dig.
That's not bad. I mean,
It's not bad, is it?
I'm not a martini man or a gin man.
Yep.
Honestly, it always seemed kind of...
God, no.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding. Oh, it's so strong.
Give it to me.
Don't
Look, look at all the olives you put in there.
It's not the olive.
It's the
Oh.
olives.
That's probably
I'm
going to
sorry.
make it
It's the
hideous. That would make it hideous.
Trust me, the olives.
I taste the olive. I gotta be honest. I apologize.
Like when I smell it, I smell the olive.
I'm still curious as to why
Yes,
you
you
guys
do.
asked
You
me to
taste
sit
the
here and drink alcohol because I'm not that. I can't
I
really
didn't
judge
ask
it.
you
I'm
to
not
shit.
That's there.
Our clarity.
So
I'm
basically
just,
the gin.
I'm just not an alcohol drinker, so everything's gonna taste not great to me. Don't drink my olives.
Okay, can you hand me the Beefeater, please?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
olives. That's partially.
Yeah, I'm not big on
martinis
or gin,
Gin,
but like I
yeah.
said, but
Don't ruin olives.
this is actually pretty good.
The martini.
Look at that.
The
Look at that.
origins.
All three.
Considering the fact that you're drinking straight alcohol.
Oh.
Right. The origins of a martini are somewhat unclear. What is known about it is it came about in about the late 19th century, somewhere in the Bay Area. They think it came from the town of Martinez, which is right outside of San Francisco. So, and also
You know,
gin.
I would not be surprised if San Francisco was the birthplace of martinis.
I was about to say, actually.
It makes sense.
It
Cosmopolitan,
all
you know.
seems very dainty to me.
Very-
That's actually why.
Well, then put your pinky
part
out.
of the reason I
Like
know
a
that's.
true
I
dainty
feel like I
man.
should be drinking it like this.
But
Maybe
London Dry Gin is
taste
just
good.
one of the many kinds of gins.
Does
London
it
Dry.
taste like
The difference between London Dry and the other ones pretty much is that they'll use a lot of other botanicals, including citrus peel and things like that. This is no exception. This is a London Dry Gin. So, with that said, a Tidwell Taste Tour rating for this one.
That's interesting. Yeah.
She has no rating, as you
NA,
saw her reaction.
Not applicable.
Her reaction was pretty much manzanilla olives. That's pretty much what she
honestly,
tasted.
I'm gonna give those a 9. Those are delicious.
Okay, so with that in mind,
You want them olives.
we will go ahead and I've had a bunch of gin martinis. I like Beefeater Gin. It's pretty tasty. I'm gonna give it a the martini is quite a drink.
Well, let me ask you.
8.5.
Let me ask you something quick
That's pretty
before. Well, I guess after you rate that, but are you comparing it to? I know you like vodka martinis. Are you comparing it? Or are you just saying on its
There
stands
will be
on its own?
there will be a comparison. There may be
That's
a vodka
the question.
martini
Like
as well.
for me, it's hard to what am I rating it
Right,
against?
and I'll give you that. Just what do you think of it as far as what it is, as far as the general presentation, the general taste, as far as considering it is pretty much
Here's
straight
the thing.
alcohol.
If I went to a bar, would I order one of these? No.
Okay.
Because it's much cheaper to get beer.
Do I think? I mean, in general, this feels like it's a good version of what it is. I would probably like it a lot less if it was
A shit version.
a shit version, right?
Okay.
So that being said, I want to give it like a 5.5,
Okay.
something like that.
Well, and it's just the difference. I'm a martini drinker. I'm a gin drinker. You're not. You're definitely not as.
I'm
famous
not,
as gin and tonics.
I'm not as much of a raging alcoholic as him too. So it's kind of
a professional.
I'm at an
alcoholic.
unfair advantage in this realm, in straight liquors in general.
Mhm.
In
It's
straight
true.
liquors
No,
in
it's
general,
true.
I'm at a disadvantage because
Fine.
like it's not that when I taste the alcohol in my throat, I don't get that like
Well,
that
I
you
can't say that I
probably
do either,
All
but
right,
I
get.
do.
You probably get like an orgasm.
All right, fine, I do. 8.5 for the gin
I gotta
martini.
be honest though, but when you drink it, you just like it. Like you act like it's refreshing. I can understand how that's a refreshing.
It's
drink.
refreshing.
All right.
8.5 for me. It's a good gin martini. Beefeater's a good gin. That's how you make a martini. We'll be doing some more. I'll show you how to make a vodka martini, although you can just replace the vodka with the gin. Pretty much use as little or as much vermouth as you want. It's there was some famous poet one time who said, their quote was, my martini is, you take gin and wave it in the general direction of Italy, and that's my martini, meaning all you need is, like, no, the more gin the better, the less vermouth the better. So,
Got it.
anyways.
We should find out who that is.
Yeah. Anyways, gin martinis with Beefeater Gin. Check them out if you haven't already had a martini. I'm sure you have. This is not an apple-tini. This is a martini. And the Tidwell Taste Store, as always, will be back with more. Cheers.